In 2024, Donald campaigned on a platform of helping blue collar workers and the middle class. He also promised he'd fight for them. Shockingly, they believed him. This after 4 years of demonstrating that he was not their champion. But now those very people are suffering the consequences of Donald's misguided tariff war. American farmers warn that their industry is taking a major hit, and things are only going to get worse for them, all because of Donald and his inability to understand how tariffs in particular and the global economy work. Here's CNN with more on struggling soybean farmers in America.
The price of soy dropped under the Trump administration, largely the result of the Trump administration's trade war with China. John's crops, diligently planted, meticulously cared for, are losing their value.
Are you angry?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm totally mad. There's no reason for it. This is absolute stupidity. This is a man-made crisis caused by Donald Trump. Period.
Soybeans are the largest agricultural export from the U.S. Last year, the value was more than $24 billion. China bought 52% of those soybeans. Since May, the country has placed 0 orders.
0 orders. Obviously, farmers across the country are feeling these negative effects. The Kansas City Star reports, quote, in Nebraska, where soybeans earned $980 million from China in 2023, and in Kansas and Missouri, where milo and soy are economic anchors, silos brim while income shrivel. Mississippi farmers call it a bloodbath. Illinois growers face foreclosures as soybean prices dip and milo prices stagnate, unquote. It is difficult to overstate how bad things are for the American farmer. So bad, in fact, are they that because of this manufactured crisis, again, solely manufactured by Donald, he is going to bail out farmers with taxpayer money, despite the fact that he's the one who's essentially impoverishing them. There is no reason to think that this is not going to get worse for American farmers because there are other soybean markets across the world, and China, for one, has no interest in helping out America. Farmers aren't the only ones struggling under Donald's tariffs. Other essential workers are suffering, including members of the trucking industry. The New York Times reports that, quote, Donald is planning to impose a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks and truck parts on November 1st. The Trump regime has released almost no details, creating confusion among truck makers and truckers and prompting much lobbying to try to shape the final policy, unquote. While many automakers assemble trucks in America, these trucks are assembled using imported components. That is, components that are now being tariffed heavily, thereby increasing the cost of them to the manufacturer. A spokesperson for the Volvo Group, the company behind Mack Trucks, told the Times, quote, like everyone in our industry, we have a global supply chain, so we do import parts. We don't yet know what the November 1st tariff will mean for parts imports by U.S. manufacturers, unquote. Well, we are less than 2 weeks out before we find out. In the meantime, I think given the way this has gone so far, it is a safe bet that once again, Donald and his tariffs will be screwing over both American businesses and American workers. But before we go on, it's crucial that we continue to call out the Trump regime's failures. So please like and share this video. And if you believe in our mission, please subscribe to the Mary Trump Media channel. Many tariffs haven't even taken effect yet, leaving more uncertainty on the horizon. From furniture to cranes, tariffs are squeezing U.S. businesses while consumers continue to bear the cost. Here's MSNBC with more on Donald's tariff fiasco and how it will continue to impact consumers.
It is ugly, Katie. We actually have a quintuple tariff hit today. The first is the 10% tariff on timber and the 25% tariff on kitchen cabinets and furniture. This is going to be inflationary, Katie, for the consumer as well as the home builders. And just if you think those tariffs aren't high enough, they're going to increase in the new year. Furniture is going to go up 30%, and the kitchen cabinets are going to double to 50%. Now, eventually, those costs will be passed over to the consumer.
So the justification for this was and continues to be, at least one of the justifications, is to bring manufacturing home to America. Have we seen evidence that it is spurring a rise in manufacturing? Are new factories being built, new jobs being filled?
You know, we have seen some instances, but not across the board. In fact, I was on a call with DHL about 2 hours ago, and they said that they have not seen a significant increase in products coming back to America. In fact, you're just seeing with the flow of trade that it's just being shifted around everywhere else except America.
We're also coming up on holiday season. What is what should the expectation be for people who are looking to buy gifts or to travel during this holiday season, David?
I go back to April when these were first announced, and you heard from some big retailers. Then you heard from the likes of Walmart and Target that this was bound to be inflationary. These tariffs were going to lead to higher prices. And those big retailers in particular indicated that they were going to do what they could to keep that from happening. But the longer that we move ourselves from April and those tariffs go into effect, the harder that's going to be. So I think that consumers are likely to face rising prices. We've seen them. As you pointed out, that Harvard survey indicates that we're seeing prices going up. I suspect we're going to see retailers doing what they can to keep those prices lower, but there's kind of a push and pull here, and there's only so much they can do.
I never, ever want to hear a Republican say that Democrats have declared a war on Christmas. This year's holidays are going to be increasingly unaffordable for people who celebrate them, and I don't know, who kind of like the idea of giving their children and other family members Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa presents. But, well, what does Donald care? He gets to keep thinking that he's king of the world, just as he thinks he's king of the United States of America, by continuing to elude himself that tariffs are bringing American manufacturing back. Think about how stupid that logic is. So you increase the price of goods imported from other countries, and that therefore somehow that is going to incentivize corporations to build whole new factories in the United States and start manufacturing everything here, as if that's something that's going to happen overnight. Tariffs are taxes that are passed on to the American consumer. It is literally that simple. The fact that no Republicans are standing up to the idiot in the Oval Office to explain this to him, or at the very least, speak to his own self-interest by saying, if you continue to enact these insane policies that hurt your base, Republicans are going to get wiped out in the midterm. Now, this is a tricky position for a Democrat to be in, because on the one hand, I desperately want the Republicans to be wiped out in the midterm, and there are many, many, many reasons they should be, but the economy is the most important thing people vote on. On the other hand, I do not want anybody, even if it's somebody who voted for Donald 3 times, to become bankrupt by the Trump regime's inane policies. I do not want anybody suffering. My only hope is that people who have been harmed by Donald's insane approach to the economy will come to their senses and finally realize at long last that they have been sold a bill of goods. Donald Trump is not somebody who should ever, ever be trusted. His word is worthless, and all he is going to do is to keep making our lives worse, economically and otherwise. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating, because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.